Hey, it's Les from the Ecom Profit Academy. I've been running successful e-commerce dropshipping stores for the past 3 years, and I've helped hundreds of my students achieve similar results. So today, I have something special for you. I want to talk about 5 things that I wish I knew when I first started dropshipping. If I would have known these things before starting, I would have saved myself such a headache, and I just want to share this with you. Like, I'm trying to script it too much, and I'm just gonna start talking. Just that. When I first started dropshipping, I had so many questions, okay? And I think it's normal whenever you start a brand new business that you don't really know too much about, you have so many questions and you run into so many roadblocks that I just wish I had been better prepared for. So today, I actually wanna break those down for you. It's gonna be super simple. I'm gonna give you an overview and then we're gonna dive deep into each single one. And I think it's gonna be super beneficial for you to watch if you're starting with dropshipping, if you're thinking about dropshipping, or even if you've read about it and just want more information. This is gonna be key to helping you establish that baseline knowledge that you need to be able to succeed in this business. So before I tell you about the 5 main points that I wanna share with you, I actually wanna give you a little disclaimer, okay? I want you to think about something because I'm only gonna give you this from my perspective, and there's a lot of other people who have different perspectives on this. So for everything that I say do this, there's gonna be someone else that's gonna say, don't do that. So I just wanna clear that on the table. I wanna put that information out there before I even begin, because some people might have a different opinion on a lot of these things. These are just my opinions, my experiences, and kind of the things that I wish I knew personally before I started. So now I'm gonna cover a little overview of what it is that we're gonna cover in this video. So number 1 is success doesn't happen overnight, okay? You're gonna run into roadblocks, you're gonna have to be consistent, you're gonna have to be determined to get results. It's just not gonna happen overnight. The number 2 thing is don't get tied to one product, okay? A lot of the times when we first start off, we think a product is gonna be a winning product, it's gonna sell. Usually not the case, okay? So that's number 2. I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper into this. Number 3 is that your store has to look legit. If you have an online business, an online store, that is your brand, that is your baby. If someone sees it, they have to like it. They have to like how it looks. They have to be drawn to it. If it doesn't look legit, people aren't gonna buy from you. So number 4, don't rely on one source of traffic, okay? It's like that saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Same thing, okay? You don't wanna rely on just one source. I'm gonna get a little bit deeper into that one as well. Number 5, find a mentor, find a group of mentors, find someone who can help you get to that next level. This is super important, guys. This is kind of like a shortcut, okay? And if you just started out, this is how you can shortcut your way to success, because you can totally get there by yourself, but this will definitely help. So the first point that we're gonna cover in these 5 things that I wish I knew when I first started dropshipping is that success doesn't happen overnight. And that does sound cliche, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you and say, no, that's the main point. Guys, it is super important when you're starting anything. This is a business, okay? Like any other business, it's gonna take work, it's gonna take effort. You're going to have to spend time putting in the work. For me, it didn't happen just out of nowhere, okay? I took 7 months, me and my business partner, we were working at this and basically saw no results. We didn't see any profit. We were trying to figure things out, bumping into roadblocks. PayPal shut us down. Our merchants shut us down. We were selling copyrighted products. We totally messed up. We did everything absolutely wrong. And those are just roadblocks, learning curves that I wish I would have, known about before. But through the whole process, I learned even more. So luckily you found this video, you're watching, you're taking action, you're seeing some of the main things that I wish I knew when starting off. But one of the main things is just that you have to remember, it's not gonna happen overnight. You're gonna run into issues, there's gonna be obstacles, and anything that is worth having takes time. So that's just something that I wanna get you into thinking. You have to be in the right mindset. You have to be learning, absorbing all the information like a sponge, okay? You have to go through YouTube. I mean, there's endless amounts of resources out there. You have to watch as many videos as possible, and that's how you get to the next level, okay? Learning, testing, getting there to the next level, one step at a time. So I just want to add a quick analogy to this. So in the game Super Mario, right? When Mario is jumping through all his troubles, right? He's getting hit by Goombas or whatever. Every time he fails, you just restart, okay? And then next time you're going the next way, you already know what is coming, okay? You know that there's a shell coming, or you know that there's like some fireball or whatever. You already anticipate that because you've already failed through it. So you already know you can speed through the process. It takes time, okay? It takes, failing takes time, but the faster you fail, the faster you go through these mistakes, the faster you'll improve and get to the next level. So I'm not telling you to go out there and fail as much as possible. In fact, I'm actually telling you to do your research, be out there. But at the same time, I want you to go in with that mindset, okay? Not everything is gonna be easy. You are gonna spend some money, you might lose some money for a few months, and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, your business is gonna be prosperous, but it is gonna take some work, and it's very unlikely that you're just gonna dive into this and start getting results immediately. So keep that in mind. I want you to remember that throughout this whole process. I don't want you to give up easily, because that's the main number one thing that I wish I knew. If I would have given up after 3 or 4 months, I wouldn't be able to be where I am today. So keep that in mind when you're doing all this business stuff. There's levels, okay? And you do want to get to the next level as quickly, as fast as possible. And failing isn't necessarily a bad thing as long as you're learning from it. So point number two. Point number two, and probably one of the points that I thought I knew, I thought I was doing it right before I found out I was doing it wrong, is do not get tied to a single product. Meaning, what does that mean? Don't think that you already know what's gonna sell. In fact, what's gonna sell is probably the thing that you think is not gonna sell, okay? When I first started doing e-commerce, I thought what I was gonna sell, I thought it was phone cases. I was like, you know what? I can get phone cases really cheap on AliExpress, and I can drop ship them super cheap on my store for $15, $20. Phone cases are expensive, you know? And I can sell these for whatever amount, and I can make money doing this. And I put up a bunch of phone cases on my site. I loaded up my site with so many phone cases, like another phone case didn't even fit on there. And I spent a lot of time doing that. And when I started running my ads, guess what? Nothing sold. People weren't interested in my phone cases for whatever reason. And I literally spent so much time doing that. I thought phone cases were gonna sell. I spent money on ads, and I spent money, and I basically made nothing back. In fact, I lost a lot of money trying to sell phone cases. So what's the moral of the story here? The moral of the story is to try to test a lot of products, okay? I want you to test a lot of products. I want you to not get stuck on one. I want you to use the data to your advantage, okay? If the data is telling you that this product isn't good, that you're spending money on it and you're not seeing a return, I want you to stop testing that product. I want you to test other products. And in fact, a lot of the things that I've sold in the past that have been my winning products meaning the ones that have sold the most for me, are products that I would have never imagined for them to be winning products. I would have thought, oh, it's just another weird product that won't really sell. Nobody's interested in this. It just wasn't what I was interested in, but a lot of people were interested in it. So test, products, trends, everything's always evolving, okay? So you always have to be testing. You gotta be figuring out what the new trends are. And don't necessarily think that what you think is gonna be a good product is gonna be a good product. I want you to test everything and anything, okay? The weirder the product, the better, okay? Because a lot of people are looking for these weird products and they do get results. Again, my products, the weirdest products that I tested, those were the ones that got me the results. So keep that in mind. Test. Don't get stuck to one product. Don't waste more than you have to on one product. And that's gonna be a big key for you going forward. So step number 3, and this is something that has actually evolved over the years. Back then, you could have gotten away with it, but nowadays it's really hard. Nowadays, with the likes of Amazon, eBay, all these big companies that sell online, it's really tough, and it's something that you have to be on top of 100%. So number 3 is that your store has to look legit, okay? Not just your store, your customer support, anything that has to do with your store has to be legit. So one thing that I learned the hard way was that my customer support wasn't really top notch. You know, I basically had one VA just doing all my customer support. And guess what? When I started selling a lot of products, people started emailing me. I started getting backed up on emails. I couldn't answer all of them. And guess what? I started getting a lot of disputes, complaints. People hated it, okay? So that's just part of the store being legit. But on top of that, your store has to be presentable, okay? Your store has to look good. It's the first impression that it makes. When someone clicks on your ad, the first impression that they have is what your store looks like. So your store has to look presentable, it has to look legit. It's like if you're going on a first date with someone and you go meet up with them and they're like dressed in all this like baggy clothes that's all ripped up and they look like then guess what? You're probably not gonna go on a second date with them. You might even leave early. You might be like, oh, like I gotta go feed my cat, whatever. That is the perfect example. Your store has to be super presentable. It has to look good. It has to, when people come into it, they gotta feel welcome. They have to have all their information. Your descriptions have to be good. There's a lot of things. Your pictures have to be clean. They have to be crisp. They can't have weird watermarks on them. I mean, there's been so many times where I've seen people's websites and I just see like copy paste descriptions from AliExpress. I see their pictures are just like the default ones. Like it doesn't look presentable. It looks like it's not a legit business. So nobody's gonna shop there, okay? That's something that you have to keep in mind when you're selling to someone. When a customer comes to your site, they need to feel like you're trustworthy, that they like your store, that you're legit, that you have reviews. I actually did another video. I'm gonna link in the description down below and at the end of the video so that you guys can see it as well. I talk about how you can increase your conversion rate. A big part of this is your product pages and how they look. So make sure you watch that because that's gonna be a game changer for you as well. But yeah, your store has to look legit. Do not skimp on your store. It has to look nice. Back then in the early 2000s, back then in the early 2000s, you could have gotten away with a rinky-dink store. Not so much anymore. So make sure your store looks good. In addition to that, you also have to worry about your social branding. So does your store have an Instagram? Does it have a Twitter? Does it have a Facebook? All of these things people look at. They want to know if your store is legit. So you want to make sure that you're covered on all these platforms, okay? If I can reach you through Instagram, if I see what you're posting on a daily basis, if you're just a pop-up store that, you know, is rinky-dink, then you probably don't have an Instagram, you probably don't have a Twitter, you probably don't have any social branding. So these are all things that you want to make sure that you're taking care of so that you remove the pain of purchasing when they buy something from you. They want to feel at ease. They want to know that you're a legit brand. So make sure that you have all these things covered. So number 4, the number 4 thing that I wish I knew when I started, and this wasn't so much that when I started getting results, is do not rely solely on one source of traffic. So when I started doing dropshipping and e-commerce, I was only running Facebook ads. Biggest mistake ever. So from one day to the next, Facebook's algorithm changed completely. And guess what? I was stuck, 100% stuck. I couldn't get a single sale. I was spending a ton of money. And I was basically like, what do I do now? If I shut down my ads, I can't make money. I don't have a business. Like, what is this? So in order to keep your stream of money going, you have to be diversified in your advertising. You need to make sure that you're advertising on multiple platforms, say Google, Instagram, Twitter, Bing. There are so many options out there that relying solely on one source of traffic is stupid, okay? It's 100% stupid. YouTube is a huge growing market for e-commerce nowadays that is very underutilized. So bottom line is make sure that you're diversified in your ad spend, that you're spending money on different platforms and that you're not just relying on one for your income, for your sales. Make sure you're using different ones. So whether it be Instagram influencers, whether it be Google shopping ads, whether it be Facebook ads, whether it be whatever, okay, search ads. There's many different ways to advertise. Just don't rely on one because again, if the algorithm changes, if anything changes, and then you're stuck, you're not gonna be able to make sales for whatever reason, then you stop making money. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Bottom line, that's the key. If you do want to learn something like, say, Google ads, we do have a training that you could watch. It's 100% free. It's in the description down below. I think it's called 10K a month training or something like that. Make sure you watch that because we do cover Google ads. Right now, I run all kinds of ads. I run Google, Facebook, Instagram, all types. But just make sure that you want to be diversifying. I know a lot of people say Facebook ads is the best. Facebook has actually been getting more expensive each and every day that passes by. So from when I started to today, Facebook has almost tripled in prices. So make sure that you're diversifying your ad spend. Again, I can't stress it enough. It's super important and it's a key for anybody and something that I wish I knew before I ran into that sort of issue. So number 5, and probably the most important one out of this bunch, is finding a mentor or a group of mentors. So when I first started, I actually went like 4, 5, 6 months where I wasn't making a single dime. Me and my business partner, we were just throwing all our savings at this and we were just losing money. Quite frankly, it sucked. We had to get jobs to make ends meet. But luckily, what we did, we saved up some money. I think it was like 500 bucks at the time, and we bought a program, okay? We bought a program. We didn't really know what to expect. We're like, oh, we'll buy this program, we'll test it out, see if it works, see like, we were kind of skeptical, to be honest. We're like, oh, maybe this is like, you know, we're just gonna throw money away. But, you know, we had failed for so long that we were tired of failing. We were tired of making the same mistakes. We were tired of not figuring things out. So we just bought a program. Get down to the nitty gritty. We started learning how to implement some Facebook ads. It didn't really cover the whole 9 yards. It gave us kind of like a basic understanding, but it was that through that basic understanding and a few little ninja tricks that we were able to basically start making some sales. We started making some sales, not a lot, but we started making like 50 bucks profit a day, which for us was freaking amazing. We were like, you know, if we make 200 bucks a day, we're quitting our jobs, we're doing this full time. And that's kind of like all that we wanted to get to. Those were our goals back in the day. And now, I mean, now $200 is a bad month, but that's beyond the point. The point is that you want to find a mentor, somebody who can basically hold you accountable, teach you what they know, and basically take you to the next level fast. When I first started, I spent about 4 or 5 maybe even 6 months spending money or losing money because I didn't know how to advertise. Learn from somebody that knows what they're doing and go from there. It's really hard to just do everything by yourself, not know how it is that this works. Use your resources, use mentors, read books. I mean, there's not really e-com books that I can tell you to read for dropshipping, but the internet is full of resources, is what I'm trying to tell you. And there's endless amounts that you can use. Anything that you can basically expose yourself to is good information, okay? You have a bunch of resources. YouTube is a great resource. Google is a great resource. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's a bunch of resources everywhere. Books. And getting a mentor is very important, not so much for the information, for accountability, okay? Because accountability is key. And if you're not held accountable, it's gonna be very easy for you to fall into a pattern where you give up or you say that this doesn't work or you get demotivated. So all this stuff does help, and it does help you get to the next level. At the end of the day, it's all about growth, and it's super important to put yourself out there so that you can level up to the next level. If you have any questions regarding dropshipping or e-commerce in general, let us know in the comments and we'll possibly feature it in our next video. If you found any of this information useful, make sure you like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell for any new content that we release. And if you like this video, make sure you watch our previous video for some awesome knowledge. Thank you for watching.